the chicks is thicker. Reppin' for the team, that's the bench of Houston sippers. She don't want your liquor, she don't want your chipper. She poppin' for a legend, that's a real massa flipper. This is for la raza, this is for la raza. I'm in my trap, casa whipping up the damn massa.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the motherfucking What Did He Say podcast. Ba 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 ba. Give it up for my co-host in the building,
Marisol.
Rob GTV.
Man, y'all gotta turn the fuck up, man. We got a Brooklyn boy in the building. Welcome to Houston, Texas, man. We got Chris Distefano.
Yes.
Did I say it right?
You nailed it.
Man, let me do it one more thing. Chris Distefano.
Yes. Nailed it.
I couldn't think of a nickname to give you. Like, hey,
yeah.
Chris Sweaters.
Yeah,
Distefano.
You know what's? This is great for me because I just watched Narcos Mexico, so I feel I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Yo, hey. I didn't know how crazy Mexican people got.
Yeah.
Drilling holes in FBI agents' heads.
Hey, Chris was suspicious. I was like, hey man, we gonna send you an Uber, dog. He's probably like, man, is this really an Uber? Is this some fucking guy?
Yeah. Are they gonna put a hood over my head and just extort me?
and then the hood gets a little sketchy. It's like loft, condo, trap house, yoga studio, trap house.
I noticed that too. I was like, the neighborhood. It was like crazy. I was like, locked the doors, and I was like, oh, this is nice. And then I locked the doors again. Then when I got here, I was like, oh, this is beautiful. Look at you got grass.
It's like Brooklyn.
It's like Brooklyn
15 years ago.
Right?
For real. Yeah. Well, yeah. Now Brooklyn. Yeah, but Brooklyn is like. It's actually really soft now, Brooklyn. It's really even
changed.
There's 2 neighborhoods left that are like old,
like Tekashi's little hood or
Bushwick. Yeah, okay. Even Bushwick though is becoming a little bit more gentrified. Like I grew up in Bushwick, in Ridgewood, Bushwick, and my mother's house is like, it's like a piece of shit, like dilapidated house, but it's worth over $1 million because all the hipsters want to move. There's a yoga studio on my mom's corner.
Oh, wow.
My mom would call me like, recently, and she was asking me like what quinoa was. She was like quinoa. She was calling, and she was like, "What is this?" I see the people buying it. I'm like, I don't know, Mom. And then, really, Brooklyn it's like actually the softest place in New York now. It's kind of sad, I hope it doesn't happen to Houston.
It has a little Austin vibe. That's It's like Austin is our Brooklyn.
Keeping it super weird kind of thing.
Yeah. And gentrification, it's not, everyone's like, oh, it's always like white people. It is mostly white people, but it's every race now. Like I just know, like I'm like, this person's just going to be annoying. And I could just tell by what they're wearing, how they're acting. They're talking about Vermont. I'm like, you're just going to be this guy that's going to, it's just, I know.
You're that fucking guy.
You're just going to be that, you're just going to be at the comedy shows, like laughing, but trying not to be offended. And I'm just like, I can't fucking handle this. Because where I'm from, like, Sergio, too, my man who's here, he's from the Lower East Side. It's like we used to just get punched in the face. Like, that happened to me so many times in my life growing up where I was just uppercut, just punched in the face. So, like, I realize I don't matter. Like, I'm aware, like, I'm one of 9 billion people. I think these new people,
it's all about them.
Nobody hits them.
Yeah.
Nobody gets hit. It's such a positive thing to hit somebody. I'm telling you, man, every time I had, like, a wild fucking opinion, like, somebody would just punch me in the face, and then I'd get knocked out, and I'd get up, and I'd have, like, a different, better opinion. Where these people just go on with their dumb opinions, and they tweet it out, and it gets, like, 10 retweets. They think what they said is profound. It's like, nobody cares about you.
Yeah.
Just no one's punched you in the face.
It's like evolution. Like, back in the caveman days, that was an evolutionary thing. It's like sometimes you gotta, in your tribe, let a motherfucker know, hey bro, you can't do that type of shit. Or you're gonna be exiled from this.
Go watch any nature documentary, just anyone. It doesn't matter. As soon as there's somebody slowing down the herd, they're left behind, eaten by animals. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
And you see nature starts to do little things like peanut allergies. That's a big thing. Now that wasn't a thing. That's a post 2007. I would say 2007. After now everybody has peanut allergies. It's thinning out the herd. I'm telling you, nature wants balance. And we're out of fucking balance. But I like Houston because I feel like you could still get popped out here, and I feel at home.
Yeah, man.
Which is nice,
This is Texas.
Man, hey, well, thank you for coming to Houston, Texas, man. I know you're going to get a lot of love out here. You're at the Improv weekend. Man, so
I should have come on this podcast on Thursday. I could have, they had me do a bullshit people are so behind the times. Like, people just don't want to catch up. Like, the club is great. People are great. But it's like they got me doing radio interviews at like 7 a.m. I'm like, nobody cares. Get me on Bling's podcast.
Yeah,
that's what he should. I need his people to come out.
This is beyond. This is syndication. This is beyond. This is beyond terrestrial radio.
Bro, if your podcast pops off, like Joe Rogan gets 90 million downloads a podcast, you know how much money he makes a year? I went on the Reddit, $47 million a year.
Just off the podcast.
Just off his podcast.
Easy.
Not talking about his UFC stuff, not talking about his touring money. $47 million a year. And these fucking guys got me going on AM radio.
And you know what's crazy is his touring ain't too shabby either.
No, bro, he makes $50,000 to $100,000 a weekend if he's doing those theaters. Absolutely, he sells tickets. If you can move tickets in this game, it's just you're good to go.
Yeah, that's the name of the game. Man.
That's the name of the game. But you know what? I didn't sell tickets this weekend, so I'm fucking. So
you're in my garage.
Listen, bro, but I'm still Delta Comfort. Hey, got the extra leg room, papi.
Hey man, I'm not gonna front. I'm Team Southwest, man. I got so many points on Southwest. Like for vacations, we can go anywhere you want, baby. Long as Southwest flies at that motherfucker.
Right.
Do they call
Jamaica,
Southwest
Aruba,
the Greyhound of the skies? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, that's funny.
I think so. Yeah.
I like not having an assigned
I'm not
seat.
having that.
I like not having an assigned seat. Just let me know what letter group. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I got so many miles with these motherfuckers. Like they greet me at the door.
Right.
I get I get to the storage unit up top first.
See, Southwest isn't in New York. It's JetBlue. A lot of people fly JetBlue, but that doesn't have too many flights here. JetBlue, right?
JetBlue, yeah, that's a big Northeast thing.
Northeast, yeah, that's how the equivalent is JetBlue for your Southwest.
So it's Northeast and Southwest.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Peanut allergies.
Yeah.
On a plane.
Do you guys have peanut allergy? And if you do, it's like whatever.
But you're so right. Didn't we just have this conversation not too long? I was like, when you went to go volunteer at Mickey's school, they weren't allowed. You felt bad.
Yeah. I was doing Daddy Watchdog.
Right.
And the kids, they're all like, can you help me with my Capri Sun? Like they all needed help opening shit.
Right.
And one of the kids, Maurice, was crying. He was crying. I was like, man, what's wrong with Maurice? He's like, I forgot my snack. Everybody's eating.
Right.
And I told my daughter, I was like, baby, just give him a cookie or something. And she's like, Dad, we're not allowed. I was like, I'm telling you, I'm your dad. And then the teacher was like, no, peanut allergies.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Crazy.
It's like we were all children.
Yeah.
I grew up in New York City. Had 9 million people. There was 0 peanut allergies. It's like you either, I don't know what happened. Either you survived the night, you found out you were allergic to peanuts, or we just have like a memorial softball game for you, and like we move on. Like there's nobody's going. It's like you just fucking the peanut allergies was either just kicked out of you, or you just kept eating them, or it was like a very rare occurrence. Not everybody can have peanut allergy. I'm telling you, it's fucking nature, and you see it. Like my daughter, she's 3 years old, and she was unplanned, like old school. Like she wasn't like planned folic acid, fucking vegetables, like how like everybody does now. She was just old school, like just one night shit. So she's like a survivor kind of kid. And I could tell. It's like she has no issues, but she goes to school with kids who have to blow out their birthday candles on a fucking iPad because they're allergic to candle smoke. It's like just a different...
They swipe it.
Bro, it's like, yeah, I swear to God. Her mom called me. She's like, one of Delilah's classmates is allergic to candle smoke. I was like, that's not a real thing. You have to understand it's not a real thing. I was like, I know who it is. It's Cecilia. Her mom is fucking annoying. And that
child was planned.
Yeah, her child was planned. Her dad is a fucking hipster fucking weirdo that wears sandals. He's a grown-ass man. He's wearing sandals in January. They're assholes. They're not allergic to candle smoke, and I want my daughter to stay away from them.
The kid was conceived in Vermont.
100%. Yeah.
While they were doing the anti-gluten diet.
For sure. And it's just like, I'm telling you, you just notice it. It's everybody, I mean, what are you going to do? I can't do anything. I don't look like a safe kind of white guy. Like, you guys can talk freely, and you'd be like, yay. But, like, if I went on it, they'd be like, fucking alt-right piece of shit. I would look like I don't look like, flea market white. I look like, but it's good to have a Latino daughter. It's good to have diversity.
You can tell she's tougher, right, than the rest of the kids?
Absolutely. Yeah. And also, I can get away with saying more being a, white guy that looks like this, because, like, now, people, really? What do you know? What do you have to say, you straight white male piece of shit? I'm like, have you met Julissa? She comes running out. I'm like, that's my baby.
Everyone who has kids, you can tell that. I would say, like, our kids are tougher than. Do you observe other kids? Like, do all of y'all observe other people's kids more closely?
I mean, yes, because especially like the kids that my daughter goes to school with. But I think that having a child, like now, like everybody is delaying, having children, or they don't want to have children. A lot of people are like, they're 45 years old. They're like, I'm waiting for the right time. Yeah. It's like, shut up. So people are just bored, and they're concentrating on these things that really don't even affect them. And they just, because they're so fucking bored. It's like, look, I want to save the turtles and the straws too, but my daughter has a knife in her hand. You know, so it's like I can't. I got real fucking problems at home.
Yeah.
But everybody's like so like selfish now and just like, I don't want to have kids. I want to enjoy my journey. Yeah, I'm a Buddhist. Whatever fucking dumb shit they say, and then it just creates this environment of like people that are over concerned, hyper aware, hypersensitive. You know, digging back 10 years to try to Kevin Hart tweets. Like it's just bored people. Somebody, you know, we all have children. I don't have the time. I can't look 10 years into Kevin Hart tweets. I just can't do it. So it's like, listen, if you said something homophobic 10 years ago, it's what it is. I don't care. Yeah. I just don't care.
Well, you saw the stance he took. I thought that was pretty powerful. Like, he was just like, look, I'm not fucking joking. Like, I get it. It's wrong. I already apologized. Yeah. It was a long fucking time ago. And the argument is always like, do people evolve? Like, can we make mistakes and move on and become, like, every year you're not the same guy you were last year, you know?
No, of course. Yeah, of course. And that's the thing too.
But he's a comedian.
And it's like, if you had to look 10 years, if you had to go 10 years, don't you think this, so I think you just wanted revenge. You didn't ever want this guy. You didn't ever, he clearly changed. 10 years, you have no homophobic tweets, and so you just wanted revenge. You were going to do that. It could be 20 years ago. You would have found shit. So it's just this thing where I'm like, even being famous now, like what you have, you know, you have your own fans and it's not tied like to these major industry. You know, Kevin Hart, he has to apologize and do these things because all these movie producers and, you know, high ads, they're like, yo, bro, yeah, we fucking, you're part of the 1% now. Okay, you drank the Kool-Aid. We own your soul. Yeah. So you better apologize or you're not going to have any more money. You don't have to do that. Your fans, you can say and do whatever you want because your fans support you. And that's why I love what Joe Rogan has, because he can say and do whatever he wants. He could just be himself because his fans are supporting him. And that's what's happening. The industry is becoming less and less powerful. Now it's like, yeah, you want to be a movie star, fine, you're going to have to sell your soul. But we can be multi-millionaires here doing, you got a fucking own studio here with your own fan base.
If it wasn't for the internet, they would have been able to completely marginalize a Mexican. You know, like literally, like, not like, oh, silence me because what I have to say is so fucking profound, but even just, you know, the gatekeepers at radio or magazines, different things. And that's why this podcast, I want to treat it like this is the last frontier. Like, we have to protect this. Like, it's sacred. And I'm all for making money. I'm all for sponsorships and things like that. But we want full creative control.
Listen, bro, your podcast keeps growing. You start to get, you know, like let's just say, like, Joe Rogan, millions of downloads. Even if you said something nuts, so what? Colgate's going to pull their ad. You make so much money for these other companies, somebody else will step in. You know, unless you're saying wild, you know, shit. Yeah. I mean, but we're not doing that. I'm talking about like little missteps that, like, you know, everybody's like pouncing on people for now. It just doesn't affect the podcast community. It doesn't affect entrepreneurs. It would only affect the industry because, you know, they're connected to these, you know, commercial
board, like chairman of the board, and like stockholders,
that bullshit. That, you know, they just have to say something. You know, there has to be a controversy for them to get clicks on their websites. It's unnecessary now. We do this.
Well, you know what? A lot of brands, not to get too like marketing nerd, but a lot of brands sometimes they get super hypersensitive, like you were saying, like that audience member that doesn't want to be offended, so they go overboard, and that's how they lose touch with the fan, like the consumer, to where they're like, dude, they've gotten so fucking like just
commercial,
cookie cutter.
Yeah. And they try, and especially like with networks, like they try, like these CBSs, ABCs, NBCs, they try too much to force things that are not real. Like they'll try to force, like, oh, we need one white guy, one black guy, one Asian guy, one transgender. It's like nobody cares. Like I would just like things if they were funny. Like I would just,
I think everybody would like things if they were just fucking funny.
I don't fucking care. Like the show on Netflix, it's it was like a remake of the show. I'm blanking on the name. It was all Latino family. I'm blanking on the name.
What is it? Is it comedy, drama?
Yeah, it was a comedy. It was a comedy show.
Like series? 30
minutes? That wasn't All in the Family. I'm forgetting.
Oh, but they remade it?
They remade it and I'm forgetting what it was. But anyway, that show, I remember just watching it and like laughing. And I never thought, oh, there's no white people in that. You know, just like when I watch, you know, I laugh at Seinfeld. I'm never like, why are there any black people? Yeah. You know, or like when I watch Friends, or when I watch Blackish, I'm just like, I'm laughing at the show because it's funny. Yeah, I'm never being like this, but like these people.
But it's the world we're in now. It's like everything. And not to cut you off, but I feel like that too about this whole women power thing. Right. I'm a female, but I just kind of feel like sometimes like Okay, if you want shit to happen, then why don't you go for it yourself? Like, quit complaining about how there's no support, there's not this. Well, get you a good group of women who are like pretty powerful.
Absolutely.
Why don't y'all work together?
Easy.
And then you just like kind of build and do your own kind of shit.
Sure.
Does that make sense? Like,
absolutely.
I just kind of feel like that's kind of the world we're going to. And that's why we have such wussy kids. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, kids always complaining. And I don't.
Well, you have a whole dynamic now, like especially in entertainment, of like people that could only be successful and famous because of right now. Like it used to be like, you know, if you became like, let's see, a comedian, like you were the funniest person that had ever come through that city in years. They like cannot believe they're falling over. And now it's like everybody's a comedian, everybody's an actor, everybody can do this, everybody can do that, and they capitalize on bullshit. Like I know a lot of comedians where they would have no careers if there was no controversy. So they're not in the business of trying to heal anything. They need the controversies. They need to be the victim. They need to feel pitied so they can get people in their seats. So it's actually disgusting and it's weakness, but it's being kind of bred through our children, which sucks. But not my kid. She was unplanned.
By the way, Kramer's attorney was black on Seinfeld.
There you go. Yeah.
And didn't he say some racist shit in real life though?
Oh, yes, he did.
Let's go back 12 years.
Yeah.
People don't forget.
I have a bone to pick.
Yeah, man.
So, man, how was it like working on that Beastmaster show? Because we had just worked with you in New York. Yeah. And then we're on Netflix, you know, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I was like, hey, that's Chris.
That guy looks familiar.
Yeah.
That Beastmaster thing was fucking. It was fun. We filmed every episode at from 3 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock in the morning. So it was like nuts. Like, you know, you just sleep all day. The scheduling was like shit because they needed darkness and then they wanted twilight and, you know, bullshit. And it happened. It's interesting. It's good that you brought that show up because it kind of fits into what we're saying today. That show we filmed in January of 2016. And I feel it came out in late November of 2016, right after Trump got elected, right? So that's when a lot of stuff started to change. Everything started to change when that happened. So I remember the show came out, and when I was filming the show, there was no Me Too yet. There was no movements. There was none of that stuff had started to happen yet. So the people at Netflix were like, hey, you know, because if you guys watch the show, it's different. I was the host for the U.S., and then there were different countries that had different hosts. Yeah. So there was the Team India, right? There was the host there. She was a model.
Bollywood.
In India. Yeah, Bollywood model. And they would tell me, the Netflix people would tell me, hey, go into her booth and mess around with her, try to get a date with her, Netflix and chill and all that stuff. And it was all okay. She would come up with suggestions. I would come up with suggestions, blah, blah, blah. That shit came out. All of a sudden I started getting all these tweets that I was sexually harassing her.
Stop.
Me too. Blah, 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 blah. It was wild to the point where I called her. She's from India. I called her. And I wouldn't apologize because I didn't do anything wrong. I was careful with my words. I was are you seeing this? And she was yeah, that's an American problem. She was you have an American issue. That's American women complaining about bullshit. She was I live in India. There are packs of men that come into towns and rape women and children, against our will. And you think because you asked me out on a date and I said no, you sexually harassed me? She's that's your dumb American problem. And I was wow. And she was I'll send out a tweet right now and say, back off. And then she did. And everything was fine. So it's just this mob mentality. They don't even know why they're mad. They're just yelling. Or they would tell me as the American comedian, they were make fun of the other countries. Really go in and just abuse the other countries. That's why you're on the show. So I would just make fun of things. They told me to get racial. So I remember for the Team China, one of the guys, his name was Bin Feng. He fell into the water and they called it the beast blood. That's what they called it. And then when he fell down, I went, there goes Bin Feng into the duck sauce. And people were tweeting at me, you racist piece of shit, blah, 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 blah. But I got it. It's yo, you looked at me and I look like the white guy who's the problem. So you're doing this reverse racism shit and you're attacking me when everybody else was saying the same things, but it's okay for them. So Netflix actually fired me. Again, I don't care. I'm not the person to try to tweet out and make claims about it and because that's bullshit weakness. I was yo, I'll just move on. I understand what happened. I get why that happened and why you did it. I'm not going to fucking sue you guys. I'll just move on because it's just I'm just from deep in New York. When I see you, I'll just, if you say something about it, I'll just get physical and violent with you. And that's how it'll be handled. I'm not going to fucking sue you. I just don't care. So it was like,
it's not in my nature to sue.
Yeah, it's like not in my nature to sue, but I will take care of this.
Wow.
And I remember when they fired me, I was like, why? And they're like, well, you just wasn't clicking with the audience. It's like, no, it's just that. And then people would tweet at me. People would tweet at me like, I can't even watch this show with your commentary. I'm like, listen, they're like, this show makes me happy. And like, I come home from working all day and your commentary's ruining it. I was like, listen, if you're fucking getting happy off a show with volunteer firefighters jumping off lily pads through a dragon's mouth, kill yourself. You need to kill yourself if that's what you're looking forward to in your life, buddy.
KYS.
Yeah.
KYS.
Kill yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro.
Wow.
But I'm happy you guys like the show.
No, we did. I was like, oh shit. I said, man, you know, it was like I thought you killed it. I had no idea.
Nah, bro. Most people didn't. I mean, some people, you know, people like normal people, they would come up to me and be like, I liked you on that show.
Yeah.
You were funny. I get a few tweets, but overwhelming tweets were about how misogynistic I was, how racist I was.
So were you the only stand-up?
I was the only comedian. Yeah.
But you went on to do your job, so
yeah,
that was the purpose.
But again, it was like, for example, if they did that show right now, all that stuff. First of all, the way that the jokes that they would suggest, they would have never been suggested. The kind of topics that we talked about would have never been allowed.
Timing,
but it was the timing. So we filmed it in a place before Trump was president, and then when he became president, it ignited this whole. Everybody got so mad. So. I'm not saying I was a victim of it because like I'm doing fine, but it's just like I got fired. I definitely got fired because of that.
So how about this? How would you compare filming something like Guy Code way back when?
Oh my God.
Compared to filming something like that?
The things that we used to do in fucking Guy Code, like I cannot believe if people they don't rerun that show anymore now because of the times. I mean, the shit that we used to talk about. Holy shit! And even like the girls on that show, like when it was Guy Code, Girl Code, like it was just like. Everybody was just a normal person. Like it was just you could be a normal comedian and say things that cross the line like comedians are supposed to do, and they would have a chance back, and it was fine. Nobody was taking anything to heart. Like nobody was crying about anything. But you know, those are different times. I mean, that was just 2012 to I think Guy Code was 2011 to like 2014. So it was not that long ago.
Yeah.
But now everything has changed. But I think like as comedians, it's our obligation to just plow through it. It's like if someone's going to fucking be offended, then it's like, yo, leave.
Yeah.
You paid entry to come into this comedy club to cross the line, so that's what we're doing.
Yeah, because you're doing a disservice to like the vast majority of people. If you water your shit down, you're not being yourself. You're not really like pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
Or I mean, that's a big part of humor too. Is like you got to kind of fuck with people sometimes.
Absolutely.
Babe, what was that one thing that you had, and I think you said the word panocha in the beginning of it, and then the lady kind of went like,
the Netflix thing.
No. Well, this was at an actual live show, and the lady was kind of like offended, you know. She kind of like didn't like it, and then you just said, "Yep, that's the kind of show it is," you know. Just like, yeah,
Good.
you know.
That was like my starter kit of jokes. That was like probably year one, two. But I was saying some pretty vulgar shit in Spanish, and but again, it's just to fuck with people.
Yeah, but the women, you know, and then
it was Spanish women who were getting offended.
Yeah, it was all Mexican crowd. Basically.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think they would. I thought it was because when I'm talking about the offense, I'm white, but it's usually white people that are the most fucking annoying.
Well, let me rephrase that. It's probably somebody who's
got a little education.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not really Mexican.
You live in the burbs,
Latin American,
like a white American, like a white.
I got it.
We call them coconuts. You know, little
coconut.
Yeah,
Little coconut.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. Those people, yeah.
But you know what though? It's almost like like you said, the country's going through a weird phase. I don't know what the word is, but people getting soft. And here's the thing too. My buddy Jesus from Desmadre, his wife is pretty hardcore like feminist. Like that's her thing. That's her peeps. You know, that's her cause. And one thing he was telling me is that what she's found, how she can like help a lot of women is help them negotiate their pay better. So now when they're up for a promotion or a new job offer, she pretty much said like the pay disparity, a big reason is a lot of women don't go in with the good negotiation type of skill set.
Right.
So they end up kind of getting, the shitty end of the stick.
Yeah, Harvard just did that study, and that's the main thing. They don't negotiate
that's a big
as well
part
as men
of it.
do.
So
Yeah.
if you can pay someone less, a lot of time, and they'll take it, because you're just like, fuck, I'm just happy to be out the house, you know?
Well,
some 1950 shit.
Look, I got a daughter. I'm raising a woman. Like I'm big believer and supporter of the feminist movement. I want my daughter to have I want her to be president, whatever she wants to do. But it sometimes, like, I got a comedian peer, she's like a staunch feminist, which is cool, but she takes it too far. She's fired every man.
Who's this?
No, she's one of my comedians. I won't say her name, but she's fired her manager, her agent, all men. Her whole team is all women. She refuses to work with men. She told me once, she was like, "Did you have your daughter at the Women's March in D.C.?" I was like, "No, we didn't go. We just watched it on TV." She's like, "Why didn't you bring her? You're the fucking problem." I'm like, "Well, she's 6 months old. So if one of you, like, the reason why I didn't bring her is because of someone like you who's getting like really aggressive right now for no reason. And if one of you hit my daughter with the pussy hats, then I would hit you and go to jail. So I'm just going to watch it from home and talk to her as she gets older about what this means and how strong and powerful this is. But you were a 6-month-old baby, so I'm not going to take you out into the elements. It's fucking idiot.
It's a pussy hat safety issue.
Yeah, it's a pussy hat safety issue.
You got to be out of pussy hat's length.
Yeah. But that girl who's like this, like, she's not really mad at me. She's mad at her. She's mad at something that happened to her. She's mad at something a guy did to her. But she takes it out on me. It's like, listen, I'm not your problem.
It's almost like being radicalized. You know how they use that for like terrorists and certain religions, or people go too far left or too far right. It's like, man, you don't want to go too far off the fucking deep end.
Yeah.
Where now you just like,
yeah, she's lost her fucking mind now.
I think I told you
that's pretty extreme.
I've never had like a feminist issue because I've had zero problem ever speaking up the way I feel.
Boom. That's why I married her.
Yeah.
She's like, look, man, the man comes
from. I just never
Do you
really...
have a sister who's single? I'd like to marry into your family.
Actually, she's inside.
She's
watching the baby, right?
Watching the baby. Actually, she is.
Yeah.
Yes and yes.
Yes.
Coming back.
Yes, and yes, and hurry up.
We'll be at the show tonight.
Yeah, she's going. Let me get tickets right now. Distefano.
Yeah, they're on me.
So that I've never, like, when this whole thing, I just have never had an issue because I've had no problem ever speaking up.
Yeah, and see, I think that's why I'm someone who, yes, I sympathize with the movement, and like I said, I'm raising a daughter, so I support it, and I really try to understand it. But the women in my family, I have 3 women in my family who are firefighters in New York, and like, just, they're very badass women. They always handle things on their own. So my example of like women has never been a woman who's going to let a man do anything to them that they don't want to be done. So when I see some certain women out there crying and playing the victim, I can't help but be like, well, my examples of women weren't this way.
Sure.
My examples of women they're firefighters.
Yeah.
So it's like, and so that's why sometimes it's hard for me. I have to be like, okay, well, not everyone had the women as strong as me, or as you are. But it's hard because it's like that society's constantly asking you to like remove yourself from your situation and look at others and look at this. And it's like, the truth of the situation is like, we can't save everybody. I mean, there's 9 billion people in this world. It's not going to be fucking great for every person on this planet. Like, every person that comes into my life, I treat them with love, respect, and kindness, no matter what they look like, act like. I treat them the same. So it's like, why is that not good enough? People want to just make you feel bad for everything you do because it's this society that gets paid off having controversy and negativity, and it's gross.
And I used to enjoy Beastmaster.
Dude, I know, seriously.
This guy and his fucking humor.
Oh my god! Now, if I was on Beastmaster now, it'd be a totally different me. I fucking wouldn't be able to say anything.
Man, how'd you get into comedy, bro? How young?
How'd I get? I was molested. No, could you imagine?
Pain.
I was marginalized.
I was raped by a peanut.
Yeah.
With gluten in it.
I got the allergy.
I'm allergic.
I started comedy in 2009. I was a physical therapist. I was in physical therapy school at the time. And I started doing open mics in New York City. And I was doing it, burning the candle at both ends. I was a pediatric physical therapist by day, and then at night I was doing comedy like 2 a.m. like how you start in the beginning. And then I got on Guy Code in 2012, and in 2013 I quit my day job and like worked full time with MTV on all their shows, and they signed me to like this overall contract thing. And then I've just been doing comedy professionally since 2013. But I think I always wanted to do it. I was always like. My sense of humor, I didn't realize that I even had one until it was actually September 11th. Because I lived in, New York, and the high school I went to, like, we could see the Twin Towers from the 3rd floor. We could just see them burning. It was crazy.
Oh, wow.
And my instinct, I didn't even know, my instinct was just because I knew how terrible it was. Like, it was people's, so many people I know died. So many people's family died. If you're from New York, it affected you directly because it was just chaos. So I just started trying to make everybody laugh, and I was just being like, on subconsciously, like just laughter was everything that I was doing. I was just being silly about everything, and it was working. And like a week later, one of my teacher who was there was like, your gift is that, because I noticed that he was like, you should do something with comedy or comedy acting or improv. He was like, because you didn't even realize like these kids are crying and you're being silly. You're just being extremely silly, making jokes about everything.
So tell me, pediatric therapist, what exactly did that entail?
So I was a therapist for like mentally, physically and handicapped kids in New York City. So it was just like, wheelchair bound kids, kids with cerebral palsy or muscular dystrophy, or, they all need physical therapy. So I was a pediatric therapist. So it was great. I mean, it was a great, it's mostly women are pediatric physical therapists, but like when I came in for like the first like 3 weeks, the whole female staff just assumed I was gay. They were just like, and then like I was single at the time, and like I wound up asking one teacher out on a date one day after school, and she was like with my brother, and I'm like, what do you mean? With your brother? No, with you. She's like, you're not gay. I'm like, do I sound gay? She was like, kind of. she was like, we just all thought you were gay. I was like, what? Wow. And she was like, yeah, only women or gay guys would be pediatric physical therapists. I'm like,
that's like occupationist, like racist, but for occupation.
It was fucked up. Yeah, I could have sued. That's what got me into comedy. The trauma of that moment.
Man, that's interesting, dude.
That's and I still technically am a physical therapist. That's like my mother's only promise. She was like, I know you're going to do comedy. She's like, and that's fine. But she didn't think it was fine. She like really hated it in the beginning. She's like, but just promise me you'll always like keep your therapy license up to date. So I was like, fine. I was like, what if I'm like making like millions of dollars, like sitcom star? She was like, please keep it up to date.
What if I'm on tour internationally doing Australia?
I was like, what if I'm doing Bling's podcast? Yeah. Fucking keep it up to date.
Yeah. Well, there's got to be a place in Houston. You go take the test.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, man. So I did the day job, and now I do this, and this is great. I travel, bring my man Sergio wherever I go, and we have fun. I'm hoping that it's my daughter. She's only 3, but as she gets older, I want to take her with me too, experience all this shit. It'd be great.
So while you've been in Houston, while you've been here, have you checked anything out?
Yeah, we went yesterday with Mo Amer.
Okay,
because he's it's Mo Amer, of Houston, great comic. He's got this special Vagabond, and it's so crazy because like his career is like started to like below the fuck up, doing show after show. And when he was in New York, he was sleeping on my couch. So it's like I'm watching this guy do late night sets, blow up, videos from Will Smith, and this guy's sleeping on my fucking couch, and I'm taking the bus to work. That's like what's happening right now. And so it was cool, like to really get to know Mo well, and just I'm so happy for him. But he took us out. He took us to the Breakfast Club yesterday.
Oh, okay.
He took
down
us
the street.
Down the street. Yeah, he took us there. And then he said he was going to take us to more places. And then he just is on a flight to New Hampshire. So I was like, thanks, Mo. Way to go, buddy.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you want to have lunch after this, we know a bunch of spots. But
sure.
Houston definitely got a lot of places to eat.
The food is nuts in this city. Because the thing is, Houston is so big. It's so big to us. Because, like, and it's spread out. Where, like, I just feel like, you're driving. Like, it took us like 35 minutes from our hotel to get here. And it's still Houston. I'm like, it all can't be Houston. That's fucking greedy.
And it goes like that in every direction.
Just Houston's real. So it's like.
So wait, where you're staying though, it's City Center, but you're kind of borderline.
Katy.
At Satsuma.
Yeah, on I-10.
Right then on I-10, and then as soon as you cross that part, then it becomes Katy.
Okay.
So there's just middle. It's weird.
Like the outer edge.
It's big. It's. But I really do enjoy I think the food. Sergio and I were saying the food here is the best food we've tasted outside of New York. Because New York, the food is it's just fucking nuts. New York, everybody just goes there and just whips shit up. But the food here, like at Breakfast Club, was uncontrollably good.
I still haven't gone because there's always a line.
Were you just in line for a long time?
No, we walked right in. We came because it closes at 2. So Mo, I think he grew up around there as well. He said, we'll go in there at 1:45. There'll be nobody there, and that's what we did.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we just walked in. It was like 3 people in front of us.
Oh, that's the
move, man.
Yeah.
You got to go in at closing time.
And tomorrow is cheat day.
Yeah,
Sunday, motherfucker, cheat day, bro. I got a list. Tate's Bake Shop, chocolate chip. I might get some wings. I don't know yet.
So you eat healthy. You eat healthy and train a lot. You look jacked.
No, man. This is
if you got ecstasy, you want to hang out later? Can I rub you down and shit?
I look like an Armenian club promoter. I look like a ninja that teaches yoga on the side.
An Armenian club promoter is hilarious.
Just like a little ninja that just does sneaky shit.
Do you work out here? Do you work out in the backyard? I saw a dumbbell out there.
Actually,
a dumbbell.
They're being used. Finally, they're holding down the AstroTurf glue, so they're finally getting some use back there.
Yeah, that's funny, man.
But yeah, man, tomorrow's cheat day. I'm excited about that.
What are you gonna eat?
Man, I might do like Whataburger.
Oh,
nice.
Have you had Whataburger?
I've had Whataburger. Okay. We went to Snooze Eatery.
That's good.
Oh my god. Holy shit! I have full tits. I just have full tits after eating at Snooze.
Yeah. Wasn't it so good?
Yo, it was.
Wait, were you in line there forever?
That we waited 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That we waited 30 minutes.
That's still pretty good. That's not bad for Snooze. That's pretty good.
It was excellent though.
Which one did you go? Oh, there's one in the city center.
Yeah, the next shopping center over. Yeah. It was great. I had fucking pancakes, eggs, bacon, avocado. Every time I say
avocado.
Yo, I like your bit about that. I saw
Which one?
About the avocado toast.
Oh. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even fucking know. Some of the shit that I say.
You want to know something funny though?
About building the wall or something like. I want to talk to the
about
people.
about if the people who would complain would be the daughter.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the wall, because that was the thing. Yeah, that Comedy Central show. Yeah. It's live at the Comedy Cellar. Yeah, that's because I just like it's because the romaine lettuce. That's what it was. It was romaine lettuce was like you couldn't eat it. Was that even affecting here?
Yeah.
You couldn't eat it. Yeah. And I'm like, that's because the migrant workers, they fucking poisoned it. And it's like,
avocado's next.
Yeah, avocado's next. And once you fuck with avocado, that's the thing. White girls are not eating romaine, so nobody cared. But once they poison avocado, I'm telling you, those borders would be open. There would be I would be asked to leave my home for the migrant workers.
you know what's crazy is one time we were visiting family in Mexico, and everybody took off. It was like a ranch. Everybody took off to the city. I was like, nah, they'll be back soon. I don't want to go. So motherfuckers took long, and I'm like, damn, they need to come back with the food already. I'm hungry. I'm just there like with my mom and like grandma, and they're like, just eat some bread and some avocados. And I was like, fuck, I ate so many of those that I just felt like, oh my God, I just want like some real food. I'm tired of this.
Yeah, that was.
And now it's the thing, like $13.
My grandma would say,
I had no idea. I was eating white girl
food. Can I get something to eat? And she'd say, yeah, let me mash an avocado for you, and then just get a piece of Miss Baird's bread and just kind of put it on there.
That's $15 white girl food now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Avocado toast is like $25.
Yeah.
With the little leaf on it.
Yeah. Or like aioli. This is just like mayonnaise with fucking olive oil in it. It's like, what are you just changing name? It's so stupid. Aioli.
But isn't it made with oil? So they just add more oil?
That's just like do garlic, something with garlic, some bullshit. Aioli. It's like the easiest person to fool is the white woman. They're just so easily tricked and manipulated. If it's a brunch item, they lose their fucking minds. I'm telling you, man, I'm white, and I'm the most annoying people are white women. I just know it.
But let me ask you
they're my people.
Let me ask you this, because are you 100% Italian?
No, I'm Italian and Irish, but then I did the Ancestry.com and I found that I'm like 80% German. So I don't know where that's coming from, but now I have, now
okay,
yeah.
Well, you got some Irish and Italian. That's pretty ethnic to me.
Right.
Like, especially like Sebastian Maniscalco.
He's super Italian.
To me, when I see him, he's not your run-of-the-mill white alty type of humor. It's not. It's very. He talks with his hands in his face.
Yeah, and even your
stuff. Even your stuff. He's got the New York vibe. So it's very. The energy's there, and you're fucking direct, and you express yourself.
Yeah.
And it's not this fucking. I'm gonna hold the microphone like an ice cream cone, and let's see what else.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Hold my arm crossbody. What's up with that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see what else I want to talk about. Pull up my phone. It's not that at all.
Yeah, because and you know what I think it is. It's like the New York way, or like Sebastian's from Chicago, like a white guy that likes grown up in the city. It's like we've been around like every race, religion, creed. Like it's very hard to be racist because the person that you hate, you're going to see them on the next corner. So it's like we just learn to love everybody, and I feel like there's like an honesty in that kind of comedy where it's like I'll say something about another group, but it's come from a place of love. I'm making fun of maybe that stereotype and then throwing it back on myself with those alty white guys trying to make believe that they're the savior and they're all about being inclusive. But the truth is is they're fucking racist pieces of shit, and you can see it from a mile away. That's what I sniff out. I'm you phony fuck.
You know what's crazy, man? I did an open mic here in town the other day, and I was talking shop with some of the open micers, and I always express myself, and I was like, you know what, guys? I feel like if you're gonna go the race route, like if you're dipping into the race topic as like a joke, I was like, it's got to be really, really funny or have a cool perspective, because if not, race stuff, it's been done right, and when it's done well, it's a topic just like sex or relationships or parenting or anything else. And I was like, in my opinion, if you're gonna go there, make sure it's really fucking punchy, and you're not just hey, why black guy? Because that's hey, black guy, you must like da, da, da. And I'm like,
it's brutal.
Like, it turns into Michael Richards all over again. Like, I gotta bail.
It's brutal. Well, that's just because that's just like, the amateur comedians are not comfortable with the silence. It's like, that's like some defense mechanism. The easiest thing to do is just make fun of somebody for something they can't control. And that's just, to me, it's always been a sign of like, just a comedian, he or she, or they're just not prepared. That like Michael Kramer, that he did that, not Michael Kramer, Michael Richards. Michael Kramer. I combined the first name of the character. Michael Richards.
Tony Pinesalls.
Yeah, he did that because, he's a great comedic actor, but he had very little stand-up experience at that time, and probably still has very little stand-up experience. So what does he do? He started to get frustrated that he wasn't getting laughs, because doing stand-up's really hard. And the animalistic part of his brain took over, and that's what happened. So it's like, just because you're good at comedic acting doesn't mean you're going to be a good stand-up comedian. It's a completely different art form. Totally. And people find that out the hard way. You'll see, like, because now everybody does stand-up, so like, you'll see, like, you'll have to, you're doing some weekend and you'll be like, oh, fucking this guy's going to be here. Like they play in the NFL, but now they're doing stand-up. Yeah. So it's like, they just think they could do it because their teammates laugh at them in the locker room. And it's like, we just live in a world now where, most of the society is just, they'll go see that shit. So, and then you watch them fail miserably, and you're like, well, this is what happens, dude. It's harder than you think.
Yeah. I know YouTubers and Viners and stuff like that. They get a bad rap. Obviously, I got like more of a music background.
Yeah, but what you do is actual talent. That's why
I work at it. I know how hard it is, and I respect it.
No, but you have an actual talent. You're making music and you're parodying stuff, and it's like funny, and you could tell that you're writing it, so it's respected by anybody. I think the issue is some of these people, they have zero talent, and they go up there, and it's like the fans love it because it's like more of a celebrity. There's no art to it. They're just like going up there and just shitting on stage, and
it's almost like an open micer with a big name, because some of the open micers, man, I see them like try stuff, and I'm like, okay, where the fuck were you going with this? And they get off, and they're like, all right. The host is like, give it up for such and such, and then people are like,
pity claps,
and then but you see in their face that they're like, that's what I came for, a little pat on the back.
Hey, but you know what's crazy though, because comedy is a very, very, very hard.
Yeah.
And but can you imagine if regular jobs got judged the way comedians did?
Oh my God, it'd be crazy.
You out of there?
Would that not be insane?
It'd
like
be
if
nuts.
Can you imagine if you sat in front of someone working at their cubicle and they're like, just kind of like doing them the way the audience does a comedian? Isn't that crazy?
Or even crazier is like, imagine what comedians have to do is you basically have to do your job every day in a different way. Yeah. Because comedians, if you came and saw me and you like my jokes, and then you come and see me do those same jokes a week later, you'd be like, oh, I already laughed at this. We're like a musician. You could just make a hit song, and then you have a hit song. So for Bruce Springsteen to go do 3 hours, it's like, yeah, of course. I mean, he's been doing music for 80 years. He could just play songs for, it's like a comedian, for me to come up with 3 hours, that's going to take 10 fucking years.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't do that. It's too hard.
Yeah, Bruce Springsteen, he could do shit from his mixtapes.
Yeah,
you
can't do old jokes. Like, I don't want to hear like the old Chris Rock. It's like when I go see him, he's got to have new shit.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
Let me ask you, man. The New York comedy scene. The New York comedy scene. So like, your routine out there. Like, how often are you getting up? Stage time.
When I first started, like, at the open mic level, because the thing is, if you're going to do comedy in New York, like the reason why I think, New York comedians, we just have a lot more stage time. We have a lot more opportunity. So if you want to really like excel in the New York scene, you have to take advantage of the opportunity. So it's like, in the beginning, it was everybody would shoot for like 40 to 50 open mics a week. That's what you would
40 or 50 times.
40 or 50 sets a week. Yeah, that's just what it was. like at the Comedy Cellar now, now I don't do the open mics. I'll still drop in. I don't care. It's like, I'll go in, I'll do my comedy anywhere. But like now on like a regular weekend, I'm in Houston this weekend, but like next weekend, if I'm, next weekend I'll be at Gotham Comedy Club, December 21st, 22nd. If you're in New York, check me out. But like the weekend after that, I'm just free. I'm not headlining that weekend. I'll just do regular sets at the Comedy Cellar, and I'll probably do 5 Friday, 5 Saturday, 4 Sunday.
So how does that show run to where you're able to go up?
So like the Comedy Cellar has the Comedy Cellar main room, which is on McDougal Street, and then right around the corner they have this place called the Fat Black, and they have a comedy club in the back there, the Comedy Cellar at the Fat Black, and then downstairs they have a room called the Village Underground, and it's Comedy Cellar at the Village Underground. So when the booker SD books you, you can be on 3 shows simultaneously. You could do the first spot at the Comedy Cellar, the 4th spot at the Village Underground, and close out the Fat Black, and boom, you just did 3 spots in an hour.
That's awesome.
And then she may do that, but then there's shows all night. So I mean, there's been times where, and I'm one of hundreds of comedians that have done this. I've done like 15 shows in one night there, because you just boom, 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 run about, because it's 10, 15-minute sets. So yeah, you're working from 7 p.m. to 3 o'clock in the morning, but it's like we get so much opportunity. We're like
repetition.
It's like no matter which way you slice it, like that's just not possible in Houston. And it's a great comedy city because there's just not the opportunity there.
And
we have the opportunity.
It's
too spread out. We have in the West Village in Manhattan, there's 6 comedy clubs in a 3-block radius. So you can just boom, boom, boom. So that's why I think, the comedians, we just get so much practice. It's like Malcolm Gladwell, says 10 years or 10,000 hours. Like we get those 10,000 hours quicker than anybody because we just have the opportunity if we work at it. And it's like, if you're not going to go hit the stage every night, but you still want to be in comedy, then just go move to LA. Go try to, there's less stage time there. There's more of a time to become a movie star or a sitcom star or whatever. But if you want to do stand up, then New York is the place with that will get you there the quickest. And you can always tell when like great comedians, when they go out to LA, their comedy changes a little bit than when they were grinding it out in New York. Like it's too much, like you can't in New York, the crowds are so fast paced there that you can't tell. There better be a punchline every 10 seconds. There has to be, or else you're just going to lose the crowd, because New Yorkers are just very much like, I paid for this. Like I need to fucking laugh because I got to go. I got to catch a train.
And they're probably like, and I'm funny.
Yeah.
So exactly. What the fuck?
So there's so much resistance. Like I'll never forget, like the Montreal Comedy Festival, like the Just for Laughs Montreal Comedy Festival. That's like they do this thing called the New Faces show, and it's supposed to be like the 15 like new people in comedy, like the 12 like best new guys in the country, or it's all political, but that's what the show's supposed to be. And most of the time, it's just 6 comics from New York and 6 comics from LA, or 6 comics from New York, 6 or 7 comics from New York, and the rest are just from LA or another city. And I remember when we do the open mics, when we do shows, like there's no, like, it's not set up right half the time. Like there's just a microphone in the front of a bar. Like it's all resistance. It's all like running with ankle weights on always. So I remember the first show in Montreal was great. It was in the theater. Everything was set right. Everyone had good sets. The LA comics were like flourishing, doing jokes about fucking unicorns and whatever bullshit. They're like yoga. So they were doing their jokes. And then the New York, I remember so that was a good show. Then the next day, the New Faces show was just in a bar room that was poorly lit. The microphones were going in and out. It's just like the comedy festival just decided to put a show in a bar room. And it was crazy. It was like the New York comics, like we had all handled that so much, and we all had great sets. And you watch the comics from the other cities bomb and be like, oh my God, I've ruined my career. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, it's what happens, dickhead.
There wasn't a DJ. I needed pyrotechnics.
Yeah, like I didn't have my props. Yeah. It's like your props. Beat it.
You know what? So random, but I was watching that show Crashing.
Oh, yeah. There
and
you go.
So I was...
we saw Mo. It's like Mo was on my fucking radar.
Yeah, dude. Like Mo was sleeping on my couch doing bits and crashing. I can't even get in that show.
He was on...
He was just here.
He was on the show like 3 days ago.
I know, yeah. I just saw him.
And then I hit up Cypher like, hey, man, I see Chris is in town. We just had Mo.
Cypher's the best, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But I was watching that show Crashing, and the girl who's in it...
Oh, yeah.
She tells what's the Atomic Comics name? The main character?
Pete Holmes.
Pete
Holmes, yeah.
He's like, hey... why aren't you doing all these open mics? You should be doing the open mics, Right. And he's like, well, I don't know of any, because he's just working at that one club passing out flyers. He's like, where in New York do you live? There's like an opportunity every corner you can possibly think of. And she takes him on all these open mics that he had zero clue about.
Sure.
But it's funny that you're saying that, because here there's not that much opportunity for him to get stage time unless he is touring, right?
Sure.
So next year we're going to LA, right? And to be there for a month so that he can get access to more stage time, just to do open mics here and there.
Absolutely.
And hopefully pitch some stuff while we're out there. But when I was watching that show, I said, I'm the one that does the tour, right? I'm the one that kind of manages that whole part. And I said, I think I made a wrong move. He goes, what? I said, I don't think we should have gone to LA in June. We shouldn't be living there for a month. I said, we should have done New York for a month. I was like, do you know how much stage time they get? And I was like, I wonder if it's true. Because I Googled it. I looked it up, right? Because I was like, maybe it's just for the show, for the sake of the show. And then we asked Mo when he was here. And then it was like, no, now I feel like I said, I think I just did the wrong thing. I was like, I think we should have done New York. So I told him, I said, okay, we usually end the tour in October.
Right.
And or first week of November. So I told him, I said, what if we test it out? Because New York is I think New York is more expensive than LA.
Yeah,
they're kind of equal, but
it's really
New York
expensive.
it's really expensive. That's the reason why the time that we asked you guys if you guys could do the show with Chingo was because it gets really pricey having to book 2 hotels for the comedians, and it's not cheap out there, so it was kind of like, damn, so anyway, I told him, I said, maybe at the end of the tour, we should try to go to New York for 2 weeks and see if because I told him, I said, I think that'll be your big tester because the Mexicans in New York are totally different from the Mexicans.
Oh, absolutely.
Here.
And you'll have to deal with the Puerto Ricans and Dominicans in New York.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a totally different crowd.
No, you just gotta be funny. So like, if I ever were to hit New York, I'd make sure I was like seasoned and ready, and like when I do the mics and stuff here or get on different people's shows, like I've done an all black lineup, all black crowd, all white.
But I think black and Hispanic are kind of the same lane, so we can kind of.
That's racist. Could you imagine if I said that? My career would be over.
I might need to edit that part.
I was like, I'm not talking.
No. I mean, like culturally, we're cool. Like we're like, we kind of are similar. Know.
Okay, let's see what kind of.
But the black crowd is
confusing the shit out of Chris right now.
Wait, but the black crowd is very, very tough. They don't just laugh at anything.
It's no bullshit.
Yeah. So I think that's the way the New York crowd would kind of be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I think look, the comedians in LA are, they're great. It's, at the top levels, like there's no difference between the top comics in LA and top comics from New York. They're all great. It's just like, and they're all whatever. But I think the crowds, you can get away with more anywhere in this country, but not New York because it's just like a no bullshit kind of city because it kind of has to be. There's millions of people in that city. It's small. There's terrorism everywhere. Like I can't. It's just like, look, if you're doing these jokes that I know you're lying about, that like I'm telling you, I meant when I said unicorns, like I was kind of half joking, like that. You can always tell, like if a comedian's been in LA too long, they start talking about fantasy shit, like unicorns, and they do jokes about that where it's like, what?
So it's almost like talking. So it's like they're writing in a vacuum, like just at a coffee shop.
Well, because nothing's happened. Yeah, you're not interacting with anybody. You're in your car. You're in your coffee shop. You don't talk to anybody. Like New York, like the real shit is happening to every. You get on the subway. And, you're seeing real life happen in front of you. So that's what you'll write about. Like something will happen to you on the way to the comedy show all the time because it's just New York City. There's things that you just look up and you'll be like, oh, fuck.
And there's a ton of, I know LA is known as like the entertainment hub, but New York has a shit ton.
Bro, I've made a whole career now just at it. I've been to LA. I've been to LA, of course, to work and stuff, but it's been at a month at the longest. My whole career, every dollar I've made, I bought a house in New York. So it's like, that's like, those shits are not cheap. Every dollar of it was comedy money that I made in New York.
Wow.
So it's just like, awesome. So it's just like, that's New York. You can 100% build your career. Amy Schumer, Chris Rock, Louis C.K., Hassan Minaj, it's all New York. They're all doing everything Mo's getting is happening in New York City.
Yeah. So what's the top of the mountain for you? Is it stand-up or is it producing a show? Is it having your own XYZ?
I had a sitcom in development with CBS. It didn't get picked up. But I have now I have an overall deal with Comedy Central, and I have a cartoon about my life in development. So that would be like really, I really started comedy to make TV shows about my dad and to just make TV shows. Now it's like broadened up to like my life. But initially it was just like my relationship with my dad. I just always thought was wild. So I wanted to do the TV show about that. But now I would say the top of the mountain is, well, really now it's two things. It's getting a show about my life on the air, whether it's a cartoon or a sitcom or a movie, something about my life on the air. Specifically now I'm going to say cartoon because that's what's closest. That's what, I can sense has the best shot. And then fans, having my own fan base wherever I go, I'm selling tickets and it's sold out or damn near sold out. And the only way I can do that is through podcasting and through being on the internet. It's like my peers who refuse to believe that, who think that they're going to get on a TV show and their life's going to change. Dude. It's like, you are so wrong, and it's going to hurt you bad when you realize that you're never going to make it that way. Mm-hmm. Not in 2018, 2019.
The main thing I always preach to like anyone who would listen, like up and comer, open micers, whoever, main thing is like, hey man, I see you working on being funny. Make sure you find a way and work on getting some fans.
Yes.
And even like
the guys that roll with
even
us.
the heavy hitters that we take on the road as features and stuff, like they're pretty much headliners and very seasoned. But I tell them, I was like, hey man, or Soul would tell them like in the lobby, tell them follow you on social media. Yep. Like they're giving you props, like you're fucking hilarious.
Yeah, we'll be at the merch booth and they're just like, oh, you're so funny. And I'm like, hey, tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, give them a card, do something. Yeah. Give them a shirt, whatever.
And they're all shy. They're like, oh, you can find me at, and I'll be like, come on, guys.
It all comes down to fans, because back in the music days, you could get a record deal, but once they put you on a shelf, it's either going to sit or it's going to fucking move. So same thing with with all these other acting and shit like that. It helps tremendously, especially when it comes to selling tickets. Like, we a lot of times we don't get radio interview opportunities.
No, most of the time, actually.
You don't need it. And now it's like, with social media, like what I don't care about the numbers anymore, because you can fudge that, or you can have fans that are up there and they're not interacting. It's when you post a video, the comments and the interaction of people and how many likes it's getting. That's what's a good indication if you can start to move some tickets or not, because like your fans are really committed. Yeah. So you have to like give them content all the time. It's like this is like a whole other job that I feel like a lot of the old school minded people they don't want to come around to, because like the truth is, in the 90s, if you were Jerry Seinfeld, you just had to get a TV show on that was a hit like he had, and then you become Jerry Seinfeld. It is not that way anymore. I could tell you there's been shows on major networks for 4 or 5 seasons that those comedians could go and not sell any tickets because nobody's watching the show. Nobody watches network television anymore. It's a thing of the past. But if you got a Netflix special, because the Netflix people, maybe we consume it on TV, but the Netflix is the internet. That is a form of the internet. So it's like if you're having a streaming service, if you can get your stuff on there, then you're great. Because nobody wants to. I don't want appointment TV, which, by the way, speaking of appointment TV, I have a Comedy Central hour special coming out January 18th at 11 o'clock. So maybe you can watch it there. It's appointment television. But really where you're going to see it is online, because I'm going to fucking promote the shit out of it online. I'm going to buy ads online. And the only chance I have for you guys to see it is online. I'm a realist.
It's Comedy Central. What? It's a half hour?
It's an hour special.
Oh, an hour special.
Comedy Central. It's called Size 38 Waist. It's the name of the special. And it comes out Friday, January 18th. As a part of Comedy Central Stand-Up Month.
Where'd y'all film it?
I filmed it in Brooklyn. We could, it's me. I have one, Ron Funches, James Davis, and Roy Wood Jr., and we all filmed it in different parts. Like one guy filmed it in California, the other guy filmed it in Atlanta, I filmed in New York, and I think Ron filmed in Portland. So I filmed it in Brooklyn in front of my home fans. It was good. It was like my friends. I told my friend, like all my boys came, but I was like, yo, this is a TV taping. Like, don't be stupid. And they were stupid.
Nice.
I had to stop the taping. One of them got thrown out.
What?
Was like, you wearing a fucking Mets jersey?
Oh, God.
We're Yankee fans. It was like, the director was like, cut. Can you remove Vincenzo?
Are you serious?
I swear to God. They're dummies.
The fuck?
Sergio didn't show up. Sergio had better things to do, bro. It's my fucking guy. I take him all over the country. This guy doesn't show up to my fucking hour special.
Man, come get on the mic real quick, Sergio. We were in the middle of I wanted to get you on, but we're in the middle of a heated. Yeah, come on,
sit on the mic. Sergio Chacon, at Sergio Chacon.
Represent the LES. Y'all gotta share that microphone.
Oh, yeah. Share that. Yo, your breath better stink, bro.
Take this one. Sit right there.
Representing the Lower East Side.
Yes. Thanks for having me.
Yo, why don't you come to my hour special, Bob?
Well, I want to just mention to you, I'm glad we didn't share that mic because my breath is it's whack. Been offensive. I would have never went on the road with you again.
Yo, I know. I could tell it stinks.
Some of that Texas barbecue. What's going on?
It's this. You know what? We forgot to bring our toothbrushes, so we use those hotel toothbrushes, and they're a little suspect, man. They're better off with your finger.
Them hoes like biodegradable. They disintegrate.
Right, exactly.
It's gross.
Oh my god.
But yeah.
But we're having a good time out here.
Why don't you come to my hour special? That's what we brought you on here. Yo, you trying to avoid the topic, bro? This guy better things to do.
He's like, yo, Houston's big.
My daughter's birthday's tomorrow. I'm excited about that. She's turning 7.
Is that true for real?
Yeah.
Why don't we get invited to the birthday party? Yo, you're mad disrespectful, bro.
Your daughter looks like she steals.
Yo, she does. Yo, her mom was in jail. You know that.
You do comedy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a stand-up comic as well, and yeah, man, it's been a ball, man. It's the fourth city we did this year.
He's an easy guy to bring on the road too because he gets free flight benefits because his wife's a flight attendant and he doesn't snore, and so we just share them. It doesn't cost me $1 to bring this dude around. The only thing I do is pay for his fucking meals.
But I think the real reason is I'm a boxing instructor as well, and I train him. So he's
get
like,
that
yo,
free
I get trained for free too.
Yeah. What do y'all do? Mitts on the road?
We do pad work. Like we train outside.
Like we went to baby bull boxing yesterday.
I'll make
dope.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was dope.
I'll set that up. Like we're working while we're here for 3 days. We're gonna eat like dirt bags, but we're gonna train like champs.
Yeah.
So I think he likes that bad.
Absolutely.
I think my boy likes that.
So it's like Mike Tyson towards the end.
Word.
You been to baby bull boxing?
No, I haven't
It's
been.
dope in there, man.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
I got to get him on here, man.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, we plugged him on Instagram. He was great. What was our boy's name? Andres?
Do you know Juan Diaz?
Yeah.
I might have met him a couple times.
Yeah, but you know him as a fighter.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
He's hometown. You know, he
He's like,
represents.
he was dope, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he threw a lot of punches. He had heart, grit, man. He was dope, man.
Houston style, man.
Houston
you know.
style. That's why I'm saying props. I love you. You got Scarface. If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Brad Jordan, Scarface, Rap A Lot
Scarface is
Records.
dope. Yeah, Rap A Lot Records. You got a lot of shit popping out here, man.
Yeah, it's the 4th largest city, man. You know.
I know everybody thinks that we just ride around in horses out here.
It-
Like we're just like
I never thought
hillbillies,
that.
you know?
I went to a prep school in New Jersey, so people were like, "What the fuck, a Texan? Like, what do y'all fucking ride horses to school and shit like that?"
Ain't not like that, man. Right?
No, you guys got money out of it. Got all that oil money.
Yeah.
Well, they
This
got.
is the fucking.
I mean, they got oil money. Shit.
No,
we
but this is a rich ass city. I mean, America doesn't function without Houston.
Well, our employment is great. I mean, Rob might know a little bit more about this, but like, we're known for just having a thriving economy. Like after the recession and shit like that,
We were the
kept
only
it
state
popping.
that we didn't have to borrow money. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Basically.
I just wanted to catch it.
You're
real
Latino
quick.
too, but you're the Latino, but you definitely get stopped at the airport. You're too close. You could go. Yeah. You're one of those guys like Rodriguez. I don't know. Get over here.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good beard right there. That's a majestic. That's a
good.
king's
It's a
beard.
good ISIS beard.
Yeah. No, but ISIS beard is like a little. Yeah, like there's a
more
leaf.
dirtbag,
There's a leaf in there. His looks like it smells like coconut and berries. Right? It looks like it's well groomed.
You got a
Definitely
clean.
the
You got a
oil.
clean ass beard, homie.
Damn, homie, what kind of
Have you
sheen
been eyeing it this whole time, Chris? Is that
Yes.
what you've been doing? Is that why you keep
He's like
facing that way?
mesmerized.
You're
Yo,
like,
I want to put your
damn.
beard on Bling's pecs.
fucking bromance happening?
Yeah.
How long have y'all been touring together?
Well, maybe like 2 years. Well, like whenever I go, if he's available, I just bring him with me because I hate, the comedy clubs will always provide a feature, which is fine, but I like having somebody I know. Cause I mean, the comics in Houston are great. Who's the guy opening for us? Who's the guy hosting? What's his name? Vince?
Victor.
Victor.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
Victor
but
Tran.
He's an Asian kid.
Yeah, Asian
he's a
kid,
nice
yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
But I like to have somebody. It's really not for the onstage stuff. It's just for the off stage, like
hang.
just a chilled hang. Because I've been I've been headlining now for 5 years, man. It's lonely. You're off the side of the highway.
Yeah, especially if you're like alone, like by yourself.
Bro, it's just like you're just sitting there with jerking off to a bag of Fritos. Yo, gluten free.
Yeah.
He's like, Serge, go downstairs for a second. I'm like,
It's just mad empty Fritos bags.
I see a silhouette of a sheet going up and down. Like this fucking guy, man.
Yeah.
You're like, this is what I came for.
Right, I gotta reevaluate my life.
Yo, that's why I missed my daughter's birthday.
Hey, as soon as y'all landed, he's like, "Hey, look for a place sells like the big variety pack of Fritos, but the one that got all Fritos, a variety pack, all Fritos."
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, Uber Eats got Fritos, bro. So was he accurate? Like with the New York comedy scene, like did you do a similar?
Absolutely.
Of regimen?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of mics early on, and man, the enthusiasm was great. It was something new that I really wanted to do, and it was just like that, man. It was a ton of mics a week.
Yeah.
And then your boy might be in a position where he's producing a show, he puts you on, and then like you could just cross promote, and by the time you're in the mix of it. You know,
He used to produce all the shows. That's why we met. When we met, like 2009, 2010, I was mad diesel. Remember that?
Yeah.
My traps man, I was mad aggressive. I was like, yo, what can I get on your show, homie?
like a dirtbag frat kid.
He's doing like neck exercises. Like,
I was mad imposing. I was on you like, yo, let me get on your show, Sergio. You were like, whoa, relax,
Asking
bro.
mad questions and a dive
I was real enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Remember? I was curious. I asked you. You thought I was annoying in the beginning.
Nah, you were cool, man. Look, I'm like looking away, like,
Sergio, let me ask you, man. Like from your boxing experience, do you ever compare that to comedy, like in terms of timing or how to that little
funny?
metaphor?
I did in the beginning, right? But a lot of people do now, and I'm like, yeah, there are similarities because it's like
rhythm.
It's a rhythm, right? And you absolutely have to love doing it in order to participate in it. If not, you're gonna see the results of failure each and every time you go out there because it's preparation and it's repetition. It's doing it over and over, and also you're by yourself. I think that's the biggest thing, right? It's like. Once again, Chris had made a point like, yo, your friends can find you funny, but when you go up on stage, it's like the real deal. The same thing with boxing. Like, yo, your friends be like, oh, he can fight. Like I say, yeah, but you go up on there against like dude wants to knock your head off, you better be prepared for everything. Whether it's a heckler, whether you're not feeling well, whatever. Yeah, it's timing, it's preparation, and it's knowing who you are.
The discipline part of it.
So there's
you're coming on here with too much energy, bro. I mean, yo,
I was dying to get him. I was like,
come on, and now you're outshining everybody. It's like, yo, relax, bro.
Well, we didn't know. We were like, is that just his friend?
The combo was good.
Yo, honestly, man, Sergio does what he wants. I want him to come on the show, but he wants to sit on the couch. So it's like, what am I gonna do? Argue with you? It's like this fucking guy.
That couch is comfortable.
Yo,
man.
that's a nice piece.
That was a dirtbag question I asked. I said, yo, Bling, can I sit on there? He looked at me like I was crazy. Like, yeah,
I was like, this motherfucker funny, but I don't know if he just because he from the LES.
Because I got scabies and
scabies like a pirate.
Scabies.
What the fuck?
That's what's up, man. So shit. Welcome to Houston. We're gonna let y'all go on with y'all's day. I know y'all got a couple shows tonight.
We got 2 shows tonight. We're gonna try to see Creed 2 in the afternoon if we can. What are we gonna work out? We're gonna try to work out. We have bro. My nipples are sweating, bro. You want to work out?
I don't even know if Creed 2 is going to be good, man. I'm going to have to wait till that shit comes on Channel 9.
They don't know what Channel 9 is?
Yeah,
UPN.
UPN.
Do you have the UPN network?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah, you got something that when the movie passes DVD, we may need to wait for that because I haven't heard anything.
It's an hour and a half movie, but it's 4 hours. There's mad commercials.
You heard Michael B. Jordan, the actor. He made a comment about Roy Jones. He was like, "Yeah, who'd you want to fight? Since you're so prepared." He's like, man, maybe Roy Jones Jr."
Oh my God, what an idiot!
Roy Jones replied, "He's like, look here, I'm a veteran. I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna show you what's boxing. I'm a veteran. This ain't no play. 5th round, 6th round. I'm gonna let you make it. I want you to see what boxing is in 8th round. 10th
Is he really
round."
gonna fight him?
No. He's like, y'all got my number. TMZ got my number. Call TMZ.
Roy, but that actually would, because I mean, at least for the cameras, Michael B. Jordan looks like a phenomenal boxer, but he would be destroyed by an actual boxer.
Roy Jones, one of the greatest ever.
Because you're not getting hit back. That's the thing.
But it's funny, man. I love when an actor does that because boxers talk the best shit.
Yeah,
they're second to rappers. They talk the best shit. We were just listening to a clip of James Toney. You ever heard of James Toney?
Of course.
He was a slick boxer, never worked out, but he used to whip people's asses. And he said, after a sparring session, he looks at the camera and he looks at the sparring partner. He said, "Look at his face. I'll do that to any of y'all. I don't care if you fly weight or your mama weight. I'll kick your ass." That's the best shit talking.
Yeah. Motherfucker be talking shit,
Yeah.
man. I forget what the fuck I was gonna say, man.
Why, are you smoking marijuana?
Yeah, I do.
It's in that,
and that's what you all do.
It's in that jar right there. But look, man, we're gonna let y'all make it,
thanks, man.
Thank y'all for coming on.
Appreciate
the show.
you, man.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Good
Thank
to see
you.
you
Guys, shout out to Cypher Sound
You're nice to meet
thank
you.
you, Cypher Sounds.
for putting the call in. He had to call. He had to call. Jimmy Pine Saws to get the connect.
Yeah, Cypher.
But cool, man. Houston Improv all weekend. Chris Distefano.
That's it.
Chris D Comedy.
Chris D Comedy. Oh, and I got a podcast myself called The History Hyenas. That's what it's called. It's about history and nature. So it's the History
shit.
Hyenas. HYENAS. History.
He rolled the dice with that shit.
He was like, what?
History Hyenas. Check it out.
He did
Shit
this.
You made me squint. I was like,
History Hyenas, baby. Check it out.
Where can they find you on Instagram?
Oh, Chris D Comedy. Chris D Comedy everywhere I go.
Sergio.
As well, Sergio Chacon on Gmail. Just email me and I'll give you my number if you're interested.
Yo, you're going to get mad demo tapes. The What Did He Say podcast.
Sergio
Appreciate
Chacon
the
on
love.
IG. My bad. Sergio Chacon on IG.
For sure. And man, thank y'all for listening. We'll catch y'all next week. Sas, whatdidhesay.com.